Hey, what's up? It's your boy Kurt the Jerk saying, what up? I hope everybody's doing great. Today, I just want to go over a few things in my opinion. And pretty much this is based on my opinion. Please do your research. I can only go by my opinion. I can give you the factual information, maybe from the websites. So today, we're going to start talking about, I guess we're going to go with DEI again, because I guess a lot of people don't understand, in my opinion, the impact it had on African American people per se. Everybody keep on saying, "Oh, when I look at it, white people's the only one that benefit. The white woman, she got the most benefits from it." I said, "Yeah, all right. I see that. Only 4% of us, not 4% of us, only 4% of black people out of the pot benefited. But do you understand that 4% is around 60 to 70% black people that benefited? See, I think we gotta really look at the percentage and look at the numbers because there's a lot of different industries back in that time wasn't hiring people that look like us, or if they were, they was giving us extremely lower pay than our counterpart, our white counterparts. And the reason for it is because they had all kinds of discriminations. So I see what Donald Trump initially did. He said, we're gonna change that, and everybody gonna be great on their merit. Unfortunately, even to this day and age, we still have racism. So I don't think. I guess he mean well for what he's trying to do, but in my opinion, I don't think that's gonna work because things is never on merit. There's always race situation a component involved into the circumstances. And then sometimes people that's in a position of power kind of like want to hire people that look like them, which is to some levels understandable, but we need to go with the most qualified person. And then, if we want to be honest, African American women are the most qualified people in this country, more than any other race. But that doesn't equal them getting the most of the jobs that they're applying for because of their skin color. Skin color is still a restriction in this America. So, what I wanted to do today, I wanted to go over a few things. I want to also talk about topics back in 1940s and 1950s, where there was a time when we still try to fight then to get some type of civil rights because there was a lot of racial inequity when it comes to black people either obtaining employment or getting very way less, or not being able to get in certain positions, or not even being able to get in the union because they was black. There's a lot of stuff that went on back then. So I just wanted to talk about it. I want to see what you guys think about it. I'm not the best reader. I'm not the reader, but I got my glasses on, so I'm gonna try. And this is straight from the federal website. So you won't say I'm gaslighting or anything for anybody to think I am. This is from the website. And if you disagree with it, you have a right to your opinion. So this is what I'm gonna go with. All right, so we're gonna start with this document. All right, so this is a employment, and remind you, you can go to portal.ct.gov where you can look up the same information I'm looking up right now. I'm not gonna go through all these documents. There's a few of them to look at, and I think a lot of you guys should, on your free time, go check it out for yourself. But I'm gonna at least read the first document. It's pretty, it's telling, and then the reason why it was made and everything. Um, this is back in 1940s, 1950s, during that time when we had racial situations as well, and the work was pretty much the same situation. Now it says during World War II, African Americans brought pressure to the U.S. government to be sure that blacks were hired in the defense industry, spurred by desire to integrate the military. A. Philip Randolph, which is a good guy, A. Philip Randolph threatened a march on Washington with 100 black activists pledged to march because of the situation. And it says made a list of demands that his group presented to the President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Because, like I said, we had to fight for what we want. Nothing was never handed to us, especially if you're African American in this country. So we had to do what we had to do. So A. Philip Randall said, you know what, we're going to march on Washington and we're going to make demands. But before the march even happened, a week before the march happened, FDR issued Executive Order 8802. I want you guys to look it up when you get a chance, to establish a Fair Employment Practice Commission, FEPC, which was established to integrate the armed forces and fight Jim Crow in a workplace that had government defense contracts. Well, I'm gonna stop right here real quick. I just want to reiterate something that a lot of people may not understand. When the people in this country, black people that look like me, that was freed after 1865, After 1865, that's when you got the statewide prisons, because we didn't, before that, there was no statewide prisons because it was no need for it. But after 1865, that's when Jim Crow started to pop off, because a lot of people that had the position of power, the dominant society, white people in some cases, was not going to give us jobs, you know. So even when they freed us all over the place, some of us end up staying on a plantation and just got a little bit of pay because there was nowhere to go, there was no jobs to give us. But because of vacancy laws that was created, the retaliation for us being free, they made it so easy for us to be incarcerated for so many different reasons. If you don't have a job, you go to jail. If you're walking down the street, you go to jail. If you're wearing a certain color, it was so many different dysfunctionalities why they were just locking us up for whatever reasons. And that's how they was able to fill up the statewide prisons, because they knew they wasn't going to give us jobs. So this is pretty much pertaining to back then, and I think this is a retaliation of it moving forward all the way up into the 1900s. So when you look at this right here, the Fair Employment Law for African Americans in 1940, 1950 was just one start to try to give us some type of civil rights back then, and it eventually failed, but they tried. Now, when you look here, I'm gonna read back the line where it says a week before the march, A. Phil Randall, remember he said he was gonna do the protest before, go to Washington with 100,000 black men. He didn't have to do it because FDR issued Executive Order 8802 to establish a fair employment practice commission. And it says, which was established to integrate the armed forces and Jim Crow in the workplace that the government defense contracts. In 1943, the FEPC, FDR strengthening the FEPC with another executive order which set up full-time staff. By war end, blacks made up of 8% of the defense industry workforce, and the number of blacks who worked for the federal government tripled. Yet often African Americans were segregated within their factories. Factories. Am I saying it right? Yeah, factories. And it says pay less than white workers doing the same job, and restricted in their ability to join and participate in unions. At the end of the war, the FEPC dissolved despite President Truman's attempt to keep it going. It was not until the Civil Rights Act of 1964 that these rights were ensured by the law. So they attempted something back then because they knew it was a lot of situations. So we try to strive and we try to do everything, and doing things by the merit never worked in this country for people that look like me. Let's just keep it 100 here. It's still a lot of that going on right now. And moving forward, we're going to talk about the Civil Rights Act. Simple Google search. I'm not an educator, nothing like that. I'm just looking at Google, just the same way you look at it. At least you want to go for this particular situation. You can just go on this by going to portal.ct.gov and check it out. And you can read this document that I'm reading right now. There's other documents too here. It's about the Connecticut Fair Law for African Americans. There's another one too. There's a couple of them, so you can go in here and read it yourself. But I'm gonna move forward because I ain't trying to make this video long as hell. I want people to actually look at this when they get a chance. You don't have to watch it while I'm live right now, but when you get a chance, you click like and subscribe it to other people. Now we're going to talk about the civil rights. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson. I remember when he was calling it, rumors said that he was calling it the N bill, the N bill, the N word bill. Whatever the case is, who cares if he was a racist? He still signed it and it benefited us to some extent. We didn't get the full strength of it like we should have had, but it was no way we was going to get the full strength of it because there was no way a bill that single-handedly just for black folks was going to pass by itself. But because gay men and I think white, I could be wrong, gay men and white women was added to the list as minorities to an extent, it made it so the bill could pass, which I have no complaints. I mean, things could always look better if you look at things in hindsight, but I'll take something better than nothing. So moving forward, um, key provision and impact. It says the prohibition of I said prohibition of discrimination. It says the act to prohibit discrimination in employment, public accommodations, federally funded programs, and voting. It says Title 5. What is it? Title 8, Title 7. It says this title specifically outlawed employment discrimination based on race, religion, sex, national origin, creating an equal opportunity commission to enforce the provision. So that's where equal opportunity employment comes out in 1964. That's part of the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. Because people say, "Oh, what are you talking about equal opportunity?" I said that's where it comes from. That's where it derived from. That's where they got the concept of it from. Because it's extremely important. And that's when they started doing the dismantle of the segregation things, like they desegregated schools. When it came to property, it came to a lot of different things. They desegregated so it could so we can integrate with everybody else and not being discriminated. Now, moving forward, in my opinion, this is all about opinion, but when you look at the executive orders that's being passed right now, it looks like they're trying to roll back the clock a little bit. And a lot of black people, because they look at clickbait, they don't take the time out and actually go to the sites and actually do the research. We're in the age of information right now. We don't need to assume anything right now. All the information is in front of you. That's the difference between our people before us and us now. We have all the technology, we have all the information. It doesn't hurt to sit there and read. And I think this American population nowadays, this generation doesn't do enough reading, because enough reading, you'll get enough knowledge to understand what happened back then and what's happening now, and you can see the correlation where something is trying to take away the rights of black people, and not just blacks, minorities in general, even white women. I want everybody to benefit. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much about race. It's just that when people always say, "Oh, it's not always about race," in my case, it always is, because it seems like that's the thing they always look at, is my race. They always look at my color, and that's how they move accordingly. Now, moving forward, they had to create civil rights, which we benefit from, because people keep on saying, "Oh, only 4% of us benefit," but that 4% was like around 60 to 70% of black people in general. You know what I'm saying? Because before that, a lot of us couldn't really join unions. You couldn't really join unions like that. It was like crazy, and things got a little bit better. But unfortunately, we had a guy by the name of J. Edgar Hoover. I guess he was the head of FBI. Kept on taking down all our freedom fighters. Let me put myself back on the screen, my handsome self. Nah. Let me see how we do this. Okay. All right. Now with all the freedom fighters and stuff like that, they was taken out by a single guy by the name of J. Edgar Hoover. He was good at what he did, up until his deathbed into the 70s. He created all types of dysfunctionality. Even when Dr. King got passed away in 1969, he said he did not want another black messiah like him to rise again. They didn't want nobody like Dr. King. So it made sense. It made sense because Dr. King was very effective in the things he did, and he did a march. You know, Instead of it being a race thing, he add all races to it because it's a poor man watch. Because the reality is that it's not really a race thing. It's more like, I mean, they try to keep it at a race thing to keep us fighting each other, but it's more like the haves and have-nots. It's the elites. The elites constantly come at us, they attack us, and they keep us fighting each other on the same stupid stuff, saying that we shouldn't have these social programs and who needs welfare and stuff like that. Well, guess what? I got a good paying job. I have a great paying job. I'm also a business owner. I own some things. I'm not that successful. I make a couple of dollars here and there. I'll put my business out there. But the reality is that I could lose everything. And if I lose everything, where I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go to the welly. That's what we call it in the hood. We call it the welly. I'm gonna go to the welfare and get whatever benefits I'm able to get. So I don't see any problems with welfare. I don't see any problems for us paying for that because we taxpayers. We pay for all this stuff. So why is it that we have an issue with taking money out of our paychecks to pay for food stamps and all the other SNAP benefit programs and all other programs, but we don't have a problem allowing rich people to get bigger tax breaks, and that comes from our tax money. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta start changing the way we think. They keep us fighting each other and biting down on each other and biting down on the poor. It don't make sense. You're in a good position right now. You have a house, you have a car, you're doing good for yourself, and guess what? You can lose all that shit. There's a lot of people that can contest in what I'm saying. They feel like they're on top of everything, and the next thing they lose everything. It can happen. So when it happens, you want to have some safety nets. You know, Right now, it seems like, in my opinion, I think they're gonna attack Social Security. Well, let me go. Let me step. I'm jumping too many steps forward because it's like right now my thoughts are sporadic and I gotta unconfuse it a little bit. It's a Jay-Z line. Um, I think we need to really pay attention to Medicaid. We need to pay attention to Medicare because Medicaid, Medicare falls under one committee. It's called the Energy and Commerce. If anybody understands Energy and Commerce, there's many different departments under Energy and Commerce Committee, and they're all low budget. The only one that's the biggest budget is Medicaid and Medicare. That's very big. So in order to cut, what is it? The resolution that just passed, the bill that passed with Donald Trump, I think it's 885 billion dollars they're trying to cut from energy and commerce. So if you look at all other departments combined, it's only going to be around 100 something billion dollars, right? So it wouldn't make sense to eliminate those departments completely. What they can do is chop a big chunk of Medicaid or Medicare, either or. They could chop. They could literally, because it's more than $1 trillion. They could chop 800 something out of that one particular. They could chop it out of both. Chop some out of Medicaid and Medicare. And remind you, all of this is just so it could give a tax break for the rich. It doesn't. The tax break doesn't affect us. The only tax break we got was back in 2017 when Donald Trump did it. If you was a working person, you got a little bit of a tax break. And what they trying to do is they trying to instead of them just trying to continue the tax break, they want to make it even more. That's why it's at $4.3 trillion, which is crazy because America only earns $4 trillion of GDP. So it's scary business. It's scary business out there. I hope people benefits don't get cut. It's sad that the people on the bottom have to tolerate even more and have to get hit even harder. And they're gonna be wrong. This is gonna wipe out a lot of middle class too. This all plays a big role in it. This is not fear mongering. This is things that's happening down the pipeline. And what I don't see is tax for tips. I don't see none of that stuff in there. No tax on overtime. I don't see none of that in there. I don't see how they're gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna do it because financially it's gonna cost a lot of money for them to allow us to do overtime without taxing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know about you. When I'm working and I'm busting out these hours, I'm thinking I'm about to get a lot of money, and then boom, all that extra hours I work, I felt like I was getting killed by IRS with taxes. So that's a lot of money going to IRS to go into our system. Do you honestly think he gonna cut that? Hell no. My opinion, no. If he does, whoo, that'd be a miracle. We'll see. But it doesn't look good right now. So I just wanted to talk about this because a lot of people are being misinformed. Stop going on Fox News to get your information because Fox News, I like Fox News. I like the entertainment of it. And it was deemed an entertainment company. They wasn't deemed a company where people go in there to get the news. It used to be. It used to be a credible source for news, but now they just spew a lot of propaganda. You know, and I don't do propaganda. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I was a Republican before. I'm not gonna front, but I'm more like an independent. Like I'm leaning towards independent. Officially on paper, I'm still a Republican, but I haven't voted Republican in a while. So I think I need to change it to independent. Because I think the Democrat side is failing me right now. I don't like the way they moving. They're irritating too. So both sides is hurting my feelings right now. Not a fan of both sides right now. Um, so I want to know what your thoughts are on this video. I put it out there. I want to make it too long. How many minutes we are? We're almost 20 minutes already. Wow, I can't believe it's 20 minutes already. Jeez, I'm on here for a long time. I hope everybody's doing good. But I had to talk about this because a lot of people think I'm gaslighting, but how I'm gaslighting, it actually got to me because normally when people say negative stuff to me and I really don't, I just let it brush it off. But it actually got to me this time. So I guess we could talk about it. It's just a feeling, it's emotion. But at the end of the day, if I'm going straight from the website, how I'm going wrong, what I'm saying? I'm getting this from the horse's mouth, you know. But I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed what I presented today. And soon we're gonna have more Kurt the Jerk news. And just a disclaimer, just a disclaimer. This is all entertainment purposes. Don't sue me. I don't got no money for no lawsuit. So, like I said, this is all entertainment purpose. I have to say that this is all a matter of Kurt the Jerk's opinion. And to move forward, we have a Awareness Academy 401. That's our YouTube channel. come check it out. We have a lot of videos on there. Make your comments on the video. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. I'm open for all types of criticism. And one of the things we also do too, if you have a business and your business is you're trying to get it off the ground, we willing to create flyers. Well, virtual flyers, obviously. We're willing to create flyers. We're willing to market your business. So if you have a business out there that you're trying to get out there, try to get it known, we on so many different social media platforms. We on iHeartRadio. We on SoundCloud. We on Apple. Where else we on? We on Amazon. You can even catch us on Amazon. You catch some of our videos on Amazon. It's not fully stocked videos yet. It's all in the making, but we already have an account and we're already working on it. We're gonna stop uploading videos on there and stuff. So if you don't got time to watch it, you can actually listen to it. That's why I said, check out our radio. Pretty good content on there that we have. And once again, it's called Awareness Academy 401. We are a network. We're not so much a podcast, we're more like a network. We have so many different people that's going to be on there. And then the next step is we're going to start talking about health, because I think health is very important. I think the American people need to start eating different. We need to start talking about type 2 diabetes and how can we, I won't say cure it, how can we eliminate it, eliminate type 2 diabetes, because I think it's more of an eating pattern. I think the choice of foods you eat is causing it. And Zizzo from Awareness Academy called it the processed food disease, which makes a lot of sense because it seems like that's a big contributor to getting type 2 diabetes, because it's like and a lot of people that's in their late 30s going into their 40s starting to get type 2 diabetes, because I guess it goes with what kind of diet you have. So that's why a lot of doctors now is trying to make you eat different first. Let's see how that works before they have to give you insulin. Okay, so I hope this video was informative. I hope everybody learned anything from it, and if you didn't, it's okay. Please like and subscribe to Awareness Academy 401, and please like and subscribe to Kirk the Jerk channel. Holla at me, all right? Peace and love, everybody. Everybody have a wonderful and blessed day.